Division 10. This is a domestic contempt that we pulled off of a previous calendar to accommodate scheduling, and that the plaintiff and defendant are both pro se. We have Ms. Rhett present, is that correct? And Mr. Fox, is that correct? Go ahead and unmute yourselves, please. All right, this is your contempt matter. You may proceed, Ms. Rhett.
Good morning. Thank you for your time. I proceeded to ask for this contempt order because Mr. Fox is picking and choosing what parts of the order that he wants to follow. He brought me to court for to change the baby's name, to add his name for visitation and stuff like that. And he has not done any of it. When we did the supervised visits that you gave him in the beginning of June, mom was not there for most of the drop-offs on the weekend. And when I asked him about it, he told me that that was not a part of the order. But she was there for the pickup, but she was not there for some of the drop-offs. She was there for some of them, but not all of them. Also, I have messages and stuff like that that we've had back and forth about him with his visitations and stuff. I have sat in our CVS parking lot waiting for him with no notice, or it has been just as I was getting ready to go take him to meet him that I got a text saying I'm not getting him. Like, it's very little notice or no notice at all that I know when he's going to go get him on his weekend or not. And also, he has not paid, even though I've done like the court has told me to do, which was to give him the account and routing number to do the child support. He has not paid any of it.
He has paid any child support?
No, ma'am.
And so since I gave him, I guess, legitimation rights, you're saying that no support has been paid, like he hasn't sent you anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Fox?
Yes, ma'am. I've sent $400 through the child support system here within the last few weeks. I was ignorant to the fact that if I didn't have the full amount, that I shouldn't pay, or that nature. Basically, if I didn't have the full amount, I couldn't pay. So that's what my ignorance was all these years, and I've been on child support for a long time, and I've never known. I just need to pay, at least just pay something into my child support so I can stay in compliance. So, like I said, I was ignorant to the law on the child support payments and things, but I do have, through the child support system, paid $400 towards Miss Red, towards child support, like I said, within the last few weeks. It's child support.
Is your child
support system? $477. But
and how many have you missed? How many months have you missed?
All of them.
So since it's been June, I would say it's been 6 months since now I paid $400 basically within, like I said, within these past weeks. So I basically almost a month. So 6 months. And that was due to the fact of, one, I didn't have a job at the current particular time. And then when I did get a job, the job was only paying me maybe $300 or so, $400 a week at that particular time.
Hold on one moment. Okay, thank you so much. I wanted to take the moment to review the file to make sure I was up on all the decisions and when the child support actually started. So it looks like Judge Murray was sitting by designation for me, and that this matter was in June. Well, the order was filed in June of 2023. So the court filed an income deduction, indicating that an income deduction order. So an income deduction was entered by the court. shall take effect upon the approval of a delinquency once support. Okay, so it was not in place at the time, but it looks like the court did a income deduction order finding that if there's ever delinquency thereafter, you should take the order to the child support agency so that they can just do a deduction from his check.
And I did that.
You did do that?
I gave him ample time. I did that back in November. So I gave him from July to November because I knew that he wasn't working and, whatever like that, because he said in the last court that, he was a stay-at-home dad and his mom and grandmom and everybody was paying it. So I gave them time. I gave them the account and routing numbers and nothing ever happened. So per the advice of my lawyer back then, I went down there in November and did it. But per his response to this one right here, when I did this contempt, he said that he wasn't supposed to be paying it because it wasn't the right amount. That was his response in this one right here.
What wasn't the right amount?
He said the child support was not the right amount because he had 5 other children. So I reached out to my lawyer from the original case, and she sent me, which is in the stuff that I submitted to the court, but she sent me the worksheet and stuff that he filled out then and what it was based off of.
Yeah, that is what you're saying. It says you said you didn't, your response, Mr. Fox, was the reason why you didn't pay was because you didn't agree with the amount. You thought it was too high. I did not take in consideration my other children, I guess.
May I ask a question?
Give me 1 second. Let me finish reading this.
Okay.
All right. Now, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What did you want to say?
Yes, ma'am. I have a witness and I'm trying to get her in and it's not letting her in.
A witness what?
On here, I put one of my friends that has actually helped me. In his reply, he said about being late for an appointment for one of our drop-offs, and I actually had a test that day, and she was the one that was there that dropped him off.
Okay.
But it's not letting her in. I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll deal with that in a moment. But
okay.
Well, first of all, this is your contempt against him. So there isn't a contempt against you. It's an answer. So I don't know if necessarily we need to deal with that particularly. So let's see where we are on this. I think one of the main things that we're trying to do is resolve the fact that we have a child support that is past due. Mr. Fox, you indicated that you paid $400. When you say you paid $400, you took it to child support and paid $400, or was it taken from your check?
No, I paid it through the app, the app that they have. And ma'am, want to respond to a few things if that's possible.
No, right. How did you listen to my question so I can get down some?
Yes, ma'am.
With regard to the child support, you're saying that you paid it through the app, and have you seen any funds come out of your check or been contacted about funds about to be taken out of your check?
The mail might have gotten away from me. Not exactly sure, but just paid it directly through with my debit card. Like I said, through the app.
All right. Prior to the child support order in place, did you pay any child support to Ms. Red?
No, ma'am. Not until January. No, ma'am. Due to the fact, like I said, I was ignorant, thinking just because I didn't have the whole thing, I can't pay.
No, I'm not talking about when you were on. I'm not saying a child support amount. I'm saying prior to you having a set child support amount, did you pay her any child support? Like after the baby was born, did you give her $150 a week, or did you pay her anything towards child support during that time period when you didn't have a set number?
No, ma'am, I don't believe due to the fact that I wasn't working. But like Miss Red did say, in the case when we first had it, I was there basically for the first 6 months of his life. I was there for basically 3 to 5 days out the week. When I dropped my daughters off to school, I go straight to Miss Red's house. I went. Then by the time it was for me to go get my girls from school, I left Miss Red's house and picked up my girls from school. So that was a daily routine, weekly routine for about 6 months until Miss Red got the paperwork. Then Miss Red kept Jordan away for over a year until we had to court, until I got visitation. Up until then, she kept him away for over a year.
Okay.
May I speak?
No, give me one moment. With regard to you said you had 5 other children, and you said that was not taken into consideration. What do you mean? Were you on child support for those 5 other children?
Yes, ma'am. I'm on child support for one child through the system, and I work out child support with 3 of my kids with 2 other mothers personally. So we just work it out between us. And I have custody of one child, one daughter.
Uh-huh. And how much money are you paying the children with the child support amount?
All together.
Not all together. What is the support amount that you pay to the child that you have a child support order on?
Oh, okay. 280. That child support order is 280.
And you pay 280.
Yes, I'm in the rears some, but that's my monthly payment. Yes, ma'am.
No, that's not what I'm asking you.
Yes, ma'am.
You had a child support payment of 280. Did you pay it? I didn't ask you if you're in arrears. I'm asking you, did you pay it?
Last month, yes, ma'am.
Not last month. Did you pay it when you had it? When you were in court and your particular position was that they did not take in consideration that you were paying child support, were you paying it when this order was written?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when this order was written in June of 2023, and Mr. Fox, I want to make sure you're telling me you're understanding you're under oath. In June of 2023, you were paying child support in the amount of 280 on this child.
Not necessarily the whole thing.
I don't think he means for Jordan. He means for the other child. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Fox? I'm sorry. Let me shut up.
The child that you pay 280 a month for in June 2023. Yep. This order was written when you were in court, when you said the court should take in consideration what you were paying. Were you paying $280 a month? Not what you were supposed to pay, but what were you paying?
Somewhere around there. Some months it'll be 280, some months it'll be 200, maybe 175 or so. So
you started the conversation with this court indicating that the reason why you did not pay this child's month amount of $575 was because you had no idea you could pay less. Yet you were paying this child's child support and paying less or paying what you could. Why were you confused on this child that you could not pay less, but you understood that on the other child?
Not necessarily understood it, but just paying what I could through the system to child support.
Yes, I understand it. I'm asking what were the differences? Why did you think on one child you had been previously paying, you had 280 for which you previously indicated you did not always pay 280. Sometimes you paid 200, 175. You said you paid what you could. So what I'm asking you is if you were able to do that for that child and were satisfied with doing that, but on this child, you said you were confused and did not think you could pay less. I'm trying to understand why. They're in the appears to be the exact same position. You both have child support orders. They're both going through the agency. Why on one you're paying and on the other you're not?
Like I said, I was me being ignorant to the law, and also the fact that I honestly didn't have it. Like I said, I wasn't working at the time. If I didn't pay anything due to the fact it was through child support, they was going to take away my license. And like I said, I'm a stay-at-home dad. I have to take my girls to school every single day. If I don't pay something or beg or ask my mom at that particular time, like I said, then like I said, they was going to take away my license, and like I have to take my girls to school. While at that particular time, my situation was me staying with my ex-fiance at that particular time, which is now not the case. I'm here at my mother's house. So my job was to get my girls back and forth to school and have my son with me at all times.
So the child that you paid child support with, your position is you paid child support for that child, did not pay child support for this child because that child support had a child support agency enforcement and you were concerned about your license.
Correct. And due to the fact that, like I said, in court, the fact that I feel like they didn't take all my kids into consideration, that I do take care of 5 other kids, and with it being $477 and me barely even could pay the 280, I honestly, like I said, I just didn't have it. Like I said, that's why I was barely paying what I could to the other case. And
Okay.
now I'm starting to pay now, like I said, through the system. So I have starting to pay now,
I'm
and
going to
I'm
move.
going to continue to pay.
I'm going to move now to the other kids. So we got the one child for which you make 280. Now I'm moving on to the children. You said the two girls you take back and forth to school, where you have a set amount that you pay the two mothers. What is that amount?
Okay, so one mother has 2 kids, so that maybe fluctuates between, now that I have another job, maybe between 250, 350, maybe.
You have an
And the
agreement
other one,
between one mom for 250 and 350, and the other mom, the
um,
one
maybe
kid.
about, yes, ma'am, one kid, 100, maybe $125. But it's more about me spending time with my son and bonding with him than it is about the child support when it comes to that particular situation.
So you pay 125. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, ma'am, between 100 and $125.
Okay.
It seems like there's another child
So,
because when we
so
came to court, there were 4 children plus Jordan.
Miss Red,
I'm
let me
sorry.
ask questions, okay? All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
All right. So your position to the court is that you pay 280 for one child. I'm going to average 300 on a second set of kids, and then third set you pay 125. So without your position is that 5, 6, 7. So basically, you pay $700 a month for those 4 kids.
Correct.
Okay. And you pay that every month.
Correct. And like I said, it may fluctuate due to you know, how much I'm getting paid at that particular time. So, like I said, it may not be the whole thing, but I'm going to be paying something. And, I try to get an understanding with the other mothers because I'm not through child support with them. So we do have a better understanding where we, on mutual terms and, able to agree and co-parent in a, better aspect without having to go through the court system.
All right, Mr. Fox, how much money do you make?
$2,000, $2,200 a month.
Is that what you take home a month, or is that what you make a month?
What I take home because I'm 1099.
And do you have a vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
What is it?
It's a Dodge Ram 1500.
What year is it?
2015.
2015 Dodge Ram.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you have a note on it?
Yes, ma'am.
And what's that?
$380.
And what do you pay for insurance?
$260.
How old are you, Mr. Fox?
32.
And how much do you pay for rent?
My mother's starting to ask now for $500.
Your mom is asking, although she recognizes that you have these large outstanding child support
Yes,
amount?
ma'am. Yes, yes, ma'am. Unfortunately.
All right, thank you. I have my background information. All right, Ms. Ritt, I'll allow you to cross-examine Mr. Fox.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Fox, at the time of us going to court back in June, how many children did you have on your order that you filled out the paperwork for the lawyer?
Not particularly sure. She said she didn't have it, but it should have been 5.
Can you give me those 5 children?
Correct, yeah. Jason, Onyx, Hunter, Jade, Jordan, Harrison.
On our paperwork from the lawyer, there was not a Jason. There was an Onyx, there was a Harrison, there was a Jordan, and there was Jade and Hunter.
Your lawyer said she didn't get the paperwork. She said in court that she never received my child support order worksheet. So that's why the judge said it was going to be $477 due to your lawyer saying she never received it and all the other paperwork that she did receive, answering every single question.
How old is Jason?
1.
Okay, so Jason could not have been on that order because he wasn't in existence when we went to court.
Let
If
me
he's
ask.
1,
I'm sorry. There's came up. Looks like I pulled up. What's the what's your child's name, Ms. Rick?
Jordan.
There's the department has filed a complaint in this case
For
Jordan. They have taken up this case. Were you aware of that?
What department? No, ma'am.
Yeah, the department actually they're on right now would be Mr. Johnson's case, who happens just to be on the call now. But it's a complaint to adjudicate the arrears in this case. And it looks like they filed it on January 26th.
Yes, ma'am.
That he was ordered to pay and he's behind, and that they are adjudicating that they're going to take it up.
Okay.
So I think it would be best for us to leave
Let them take care of it,
because they'll do the proper. They'll take it out of his check and they'll make sure that you get the money.
Okay.
Monthly, because if I gave it to you, you would end up taking it and giving it back to them. And that's another layer. This right here, January 25th. In fact, it's probably on the calendar. Ms. Marshall, this one's on the calendar today. It's probably on the calendar.
What's the case number?
Oh, I forgot. We're not.
No, ma'am. This is peremptory, and it's not on this calendar.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, Judge. Good morning. Yes.
Good morning.
Okay. It's not, that one's not on the calendar. Most of the ones on this calendar are 23 cases.
Okay. So, but that one will be coming up. So has he been served? Let's see.
We're on the 9th. I think we have to go for that.
Notice to produce, bring to court on, looks like bring to court. I don't see a date though. First evidence. Yeah, so it looks like this one's in the making. So I'm gonna let.
He said that he made a payment. I haven't even received that.
No, I didn't say that. They
Okay.
haven't started that. They're going to come to me and ask me to start
Okay.
out of his check. They have started the process of doing it. So
Okay.
to keep it from being confused, I don't know. What do you think, Mr. Johnson? Should I let you all do it or should I take it up today?
No, Judge, if it is one of those things where if we're going to be handling that matter, I think it's appropriate to handle it the way the court said, and we'll be able to pull everything together appropriately. I believe
because they'll have everything together.
Yes, ma'am.
And that way, like what I'm doing now, I'm trying to pull the information from Mr. Fox. So I asked Mr. Fox, are you paying child support? Mr. Fox, I said, do it under oath. He said, no, yes. Well, the department will be able to tell me. I have to accept what he just told me, which is he paid child support. But the department would be able to look and go, okay, for that child, they'll know who that child is. They'll be able to pull it up and they'll tell me he's not paid child support or he did pay child support. This is how much he paid. This is when he paid. This is how he paid. They'll also be able to pull up all the background information that I'm trying to collect from him by testimony. So, for example, if he tells me, I have to accept what he's telling me. How much money you bring in? What is the Department of Labor reporting? I don't know if he's telling the truth or not. But with the department, when they do, they can pull those records and I can see it. So I think it's best on the numbers that you just let the department handle it. But that doesn't mean Mr. Fox stopped paying child support. It just means that they're dealing with the arrearages, and you don't want that arrearages to keep steadily going up. So pay what you're supposed to pay. But the arrearages, I think we'll just let the department handle it. Now, so that means we can go and take a look at whether or not Mr. Fox is visiting like he's supposed to, and we'll deal with that contempt issue, and we're going to let the child support matter be handled through the department. Okay, Mr. Fox, your position is you got a job now. You're going to make these payments, right?
Yes,
we'll
ma'am.
deal with the urges of it later. So right now, let's take a look at the other contempt, which is his failure to pick the child up, as well as you said, his mother not coming to the sites. Let's do that. So go ahead and ask him questions related to that issue.
I sent some text messages to the court that I would show. Do you all have them, or do I need to pull them up and share my screen?
You need to pull them up and share your screen. Ms. Marshall, give her the ability to do this, right?
Mr. Fox, can you tell how often have you been getting Jordan?
Yeah, lately not too much due to the fact that mother, for one, the house ain't got no furnace. Okay, it's cold. Everybody be sick most of the time. This, that, and the third. Only reason why my daughter has to deal with is because I got them. So I'm not able to get them. And due to the fact now that she really, after seeing how many kids be at her house when they do be over, she ain't for all that no more. So honestly, right now, I don't have no choice, nowhere to really take him. I've offered to come to your house to spend time with him, but you denied that. So I've tried in a way to try to compensate or find another way, but as of right now, until I get a new place, I'll just have to pay my child support and I have to see Jordan when I eventually get a new place. Because right now, my mother's house is not an option.
Mr. Fox, hold 1 second for me, please.
Yes, ma'am. Okay,
I apologize. You may continue. I had a court emergency.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, you may.
Mr. Fox, you said that the furnace went out. When did this happen? I don't understand. When it's been out?
Years.
So I want to address when is the last time that you actually had your full weekend with Jordan?
Don't recall.
So have you given me any notice when you were not going to pick him up?
Maybe not the notice you may want, but yes.
What does that mean?
Maybe not enough time frame you may want, but yes, I have.
In January, how many times did you get Jordan?
I just stated I have nowhere basis to bring him to.
When you didn't get him in January, did you let me know that you weren't going to get him and why you weren't going to get him?
Don't recall.
Okay. I will pull up these messages where in January you did not get him, but you told me each time that you weren't getting him because you had to work. Do you remember that? Or do we need to pull these messages to show you that?
There's also the case as well. I have to work and I also don't have a place for to take him to. I can't help that my mother doesn't want a bunch of kids in the house. I mean, I want to see him. Like I said, I try to compromise with you. You don't want that compromise. I understand. I want to see him. But till I get a new place, it's pretty much just not going to be able to happen right now. I'm going to get up on my child support, but at this time, I don't have nowhere to take him. So.
My house is not in the order. It was for you to take him where you wanted him to be at with you.
Well, I understand that. No problem. Like I said, until I get a new place, I'm going to try to keep up with my child support, and I'm going to see when I get a new place. As soon as I make that happen, we're not going to make that happen. Can't do anything between that time.
In December, did you have Jordan any of the 3 times that you were supposed to get him, including your Christmas holiday?
Might have. Not exactly sure.
You do remember swearing in, right, Mr. Fox?
If you want me to remember every single day and every visitation, that's on you, ma'am. Okay?
Mr. Fox, did you get Jordan for Christmas or any of the weekends in December?
I don't recall. It was in December. We're in February. I don't recall. Like I said, I don't have a place to take him. I don't know what more, you're trying to antagonize to get up out of me when it comes to this situation.
Okay.
I can't get him. It's that simple. You can keep asking which way you want to keep asking. You're really worried about child support. Okay.
We said we were against child support, and I was here for the other question, the other stuff on the docket.
Can you move on to the issue about the mother? I think Mr. Fox has indicated that he has not been consistent with his child, with visiting his child. You indicated the third thing was that his mother was supposed to be a part of the process, and she's not. I think that was
in the beginning when you gave him supervised visits for the first month. And you, before we let out, he asked if mom could just meet him at the house, and he take a picture to show she was there. And you made it clear to him that the supervised visits meant that she needed to be there from pickup to drop off. And let
me stop. I think, and I'm okay with you saying I sent a court, but I was not the judge.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I had Judge Murray sitting for me.
Okay.
He's the one who signed the order. So I'm thinking that's what I was trying to figure when I went back to kind of see if there was another case that I could have been involved in with you all. Or did it come back a second time? But do you think it was me, or do you think it could have been someone else?
I think she had on glasses. I just thought it was you, and you just didn't have the glasses on today.
I actually do have my glasses somewhere, but let me just make sure I'm right on that, because I'm trying to see if any of these documents have my name on them, but no, I'm pretty, because it was in June, and this one has the final order of legitimation. It was signed by Judge Murray. Okay, so I'm gonna go, if I go to because I'm even looking at, all of that, even the final parenting plan was signed by her mother. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to, you said something, do you know what that provision is about his mother?
Yes, it's in the order for the supervised visits for the first month.
I'm asking what provision am I looking at? What paragraph, page number?
I don't know that one. I'm sorry. I know it's in the proposed parenting plan, because it's like I would say that it's in the beginning because it talks about
reunification period. I see now. Okay, father shall have a reunification period of 4 consecutive weekends beginning June 2023. Father should have supervised visitation with the child every Saturday from 11 to 7. Okay, so right now you don't have overnights, Mr. Fox. You don't have overnights right now, so you can basically come get him and take him to Chuck E. Cheese or to the park or any place, right?
No, he has that. Overnights were just for that first month. After that month, he went into full weekends.
Okay, now you're back into full weekends. Oh, I see. Okay, Sundays from 11 to 4. Okay. Father's mother shall be the supervisor. You're just saying at that time, father's mom was supposed to be the supervisor, and she was not. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but right now she wouldn't be a supervisor.
No, she's no longer on.
Out. Okay, so you were just that provision at the original time when this was, she wasn't doing it, but now you're bypassed that, and now you're okay with, you're not asking to start over that supervision portion. You're okay with weekends, but now he's not coming to get him at all.
He's not coming to get him at all. This has been since November or October that we have not had a consistent 2 weeks. And not to bring the other child involved in this, because I know that he has other children as well, but I can make plans. Like last weekend when he didn't get him, when we did the continuance from the original one of the other week, I was supposed to take my daughter to, she does dance, and she had the opportunity to go see Alvin Ailey. I had to take somebody else to go see, for her to go do that, because Jordan was supposed to be with him. We sat in CVS parking lot for 30 minutes waiting on him, and I'm texting him, asking him, are you coming? And he doesn't even respond back until hours later.
I see what you're saying. It interferes with your ability to parent your other children. Yes. If you think Jordan's going to be one place, but he ends up with you because dad hasn't come to get him.
I mean, I could have even made other arrangements, but I didn't get that opportunity.
Okay. So how much time in advance would you like for him to tell you whether he's or not?
I've asked him before, can you at least give me 2 or 3 hours? At least I'm not setting in, and I don't even really want to set in CVS parking lot because it looks kind of sketchy, especially now with the time change and stuff like that. Right. But I'm sitting here in this parking lot and no one's showing up.
Mr. Fox, what is the issue with giving her that amount of notice? I know your position is I give you notice, but not what you want. What's wrong with 2 to 3 hour notice?
Be honestly, sometimes it really honestly just slips my mind, honestly. The
visitation slips your mind?
Yeah, man, with the time slips away from me. Well, I mean, not necessarily the visitation, but the time to give her the notice. Is basically what I'm saying. Shouldn't say the visitation, but the time gets away from me. And she may not get the notice. But going forward, though, I can't give her notice. But like I also told Ms. Rhett, going forward right now, I'm not able to get him. So she has as much notice as she needs right now while we're here at court, because I'm just not able to at times because I'm staying here at my mother's house.
I want you to not do what you just previously indicated, that you had a misunderstanding. You said previously, well, Judge, I didn't understand that I could pay a little bit of child support, so I paid none. I don't want you to think because you can't keep your son the whole weekend, you can't see him at all. You could talk with Miss Brett about getting your son and just taking him to the mall with you, or getting your son and taking him to Chuck E. Cheese, or take him into the park. If you don't have a place to stay where you can bring him, that's understandable. Everybody has those circumstances in life. And I don't want you to feel as if anyone is casting any light on you. But I do want you to think, Mr. Fox, you got to start thinking through some of the decisions that you're making, because in the end, I want you to put your son first. I don't want you to think about Ms. Rhett. I don't want you to think about what she wants or what she doesn't want. I want you to think about what your son needs, okay? He needs to have interaction with you. And so if that means that you come get him and say, Ms. Rhett, I don't have a place to take him. She understands that. She knows you stay with your mother. If your mother doesn't want a house full of, 6 or 7 grandkids every weekend, that's her right. And she has the right to do that. And that doesn't cast light on her at all. I have a mother, and she don't want him every weekend. So I get that. So what I'm saying, though, is you recognize that. Call Miss Red up and say, can I see him for a couple of hours? Maybe I can take him here or there, or take him to a museum. How old is he? That's 2021 kid. So he's like, what, 3?
He's 2.
Okay, so your options are a little shy with the 2-year-old, but you can take him to the zoo. You can, I used to love
around the corner to the park.
Chuck E. Cheese. You can take him to the park. And throw him in a plane, a swing for 2 or 3 hours. He would love it. So take him to one of these Disney movies. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I do know it doesn't mean that you have to keep him the whole weekend. Just make arrangements to see him. That goes along. Shows that you're putting forth some effort despite your circumstances. Just like when you're paying child support. I have some people go, I haven't paid child support for years. Like, you haven't had $10, $15, show some consideration at something. And it goes a long way when you have fathers, because the first thing the fathers come in, they're going to say, oh, she's making me look bad because I can't afford to pay child support, and all I'm saying is, well, she's not making you look bad. Those are your real circumstances. You can't afford child support. So do something. So when you come in, you can say, I paid, and feel good about, not feel good necessarily that you're behind, but know you've done what you can do. Because if you've done what you can do, the court recognized that. I can see if you've done what you can do, but this right here is not showing me you've done what you can do. This right here either shows me one or two things. You're mad about something, or you don't care about something, and that worries me. Now that's when I start, not caring about what my decisions are, or not being empathetic, because you don't show empathy. You're not showing empathy. If you're not showing empathy to Ms. Red and her circumstances with your kid, then you want me to show you empathy. It doesn't work that way. So all I'm saying is put forth some effort so the court can see that you're putting forth effort. And you don't necessarily have to take him the whole weekend. And if she's asking you for 2 or 3 hours notice, why not give her 2 or 3 hour notice? What do you think happens when you don't come get him? Those circumstances, those are real life decisions. You asked for legitimation. You asked for the child support. You asked for the paternity of it. You said this is your child and you want to be responsible for your child financially, mentally, socially. Those are all your responsibilities, right? I mean, you don't take care of them by yourself. So all I'm saying is the next time you come back to court, don't tell me I want to see try. I want to see I have tried. Rather than I just can't see him because my mom won't let me come pick him up. And then you start off the whole hearing, because I have a pretty good memory. You start off the hearing talking about what's important to me is spending time with my kids. I take my 2 daughters to school every day. I take them home every day. You told me that you had this significant involvement with your other 2 girls, and it didn't involve overnight. It involves you doing something as simple as taking them to school. That means something. So taking your son to a park for 30 minutes every other day would mean more than not seeing him at all. Okay, so be mindful of that. Take that in consideration. All right.
Yes, ma'am. That's understandable.
All right. So with regard to your mother, what's your position? Did your mother attend these meetings that she was supposed to attend?
Yeah, like Ms. Red said, she came to all the pickups. It just some of the drop-offs she didn't come because either she had stuff going on, because she does have a life outside of just want to just look at me, watch my kid, and just sit there with me at her house. So when it was time for me to leave, either she may have plans to go out, or she may have work to do at the house, or this, that, and the third. So yeah, every time she was not able to come with me to drop off.
She made the pickup, but not the drop-off. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, not every single drop-off. Yes, ma'am.
Is that your understanding, Ms. Red, or no?
I was there. It was not every single drop off, but it leads you to leave. Like he said, she had other things to do, as if so. I'm not sure that he was even there being supervised, and he has come back smelling like weed.
Okay, your kid smell like weed, or Mr. Fox smelling like weed?
Jordan in his diaper bag, so I don't send anything with him. The diaper bag smelled like it until the next day.
Okay, so that prevents you from taking the daycare with the diaper bag.
I don't. I let the bag sit outside until it could air out.
Okay. So, Mr. Fox.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you smoking around him?
No, ma'am, not at all. I'm staying over here at my mother's house. How am I able to do that? If that was the case, that doesn't even make logical sense.
Well, I don't know. Smoke marijuana.
Well, I clearly understand. My mother's not no smoker at all. She may do a little hookah thing every now and then, but she don't even like the cigarette smells. I smoke cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? So absolutely not. That doesn't make any logical sense at all.
So, Mr. Fox, what I'm going to do is, since you're saying you don't smoke around, I'm just going to put a provision in here that you cannot do that. Okay?
Absolutely. That's not a problem at all.
Okay.
How
much time notice, Ms. Red, do you want for him a day or how many hours?
4.
4 hours. Okay. Can you give her 4 hour notice, Mr. Fox?
Does the 2 hour mark sound a little bit better? Because just in case, things may change and I may be able to, or like you said, maybe get them for a little bit or whatever the case may be. But
that's okay.
She said 2 to 3 hours earlier. So I was going off what she said.
That's fine. In 4 hours, you just call her and say, hey, I'm not really certain right now. Can I let you know in a couple of hours?
Yes, ma'am.
Just communication. It's just communication.
That's all I asked for, because I've literally been turning in the yard at 5:30, getting ready to get his bags to take him over there, to get him to take him over there when I got in the yard. And it takes me 20 minutes to get over there. So Mr. I'm sitting there and not getting nothing at all.
No. So yes, it's just communication. So you just say, I'm thinking about it. I think I might be able to make it. I'm trying to go pick him up. I may not be keeping the whole day.
We've had times that we've even done that he wasn't able to get him, the whole weekend, and I brought him to him on a Sunday. So
Okay.
I'm flexible. I'll work with him, but as of lately, he hasn't been doing anything at all. And then keeps bringing up, like I have here in these text messages, that he's no longer with the other mother and he can come over to my house. The other mother has never been an issue. I've
Oh,
always tried to, work us all out to be able to
Not
be
living
together.
at her house, so that's irrelevant.
you're saying that sometimes you would take him over to your girlfriend's house?
No, I was staying at the particular time when we had the court. I was living with my ex-fiance at the time. That ain't been the case since October or so. So
Okay.
her bringing that fact up is irrelevant because I
Talk
was
about
only
Mr.
maybe
Fox.
living there for with the visitation maybe just a couple months or so up until, like I said, I ended up moving here to my mother's house or so. So her
So,
bringing that up is pretty much kind of irrelevant because I'm not
okay.
with my ex-fiance anymore.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do, Mr. Fox. The court is going to find. I'm going to find you contempt for not failing to follow the order. However, you'll purge the contempt simply by doing what you're supposed to do, which is to give her 4-hour current notice with regard to pick up. You'll not smoke around the child as you've indicated, and the 4-hour notice to make rearrangements or to let her know that you're not coming. Okay, that's what you're going to do. We're going to withhold the issue of child support. I'll find you in contempt of failing to pay child support, but I'm not going to handle any more issues regarding that until DHS serves you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, we have court in 3 days. I mean,
I don't know when y'all have court.
we do on the 9th.
Huh?
It's on the 9th.
The 9th of February?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Then I'll withhold that ruling until I give you a full opportunity to be heard on that.
Yes, ma'am.
May I also state, Your Honor, these text messages that I have also shows that he asked me to drop the child support because he would drop the name change and add in his name to the birth certificate because he does not care about it. He just
That's
wanted
not
to
the
drop the
case,
child
ma'am. I
support.
was trying to compromise to make my situation easier because it's a high child support. I'm trying to compromise to
To
try
me,
to make
Your
her
Honor,
life easier, and that's all.
So, Mr. Fox, another thing, my last comment to you, but technically you have, you need to talk with a lawyer if you think your child support numbers are too high in consideration of the other 5 people. You telling me it's too high doesn't mean anything. When I have you in court, I'm looking at 477. I'm not going to care how you got there. You want to change that number, you got to do it. You got to do it through the court system, and it won't really matter the fact that you think it's too high if you don't take appropriate steps. So you're in a position right now, Mr. Fox, where you got to make some real decisions, because if that number gets too high and you try to take care of all these kids without a license, you can't drive, you can't go to work, it's going to snowball. So you need to be figuring out how you're going to make some decisions. You need to talk with a lawyer to figure that out, because you got five or 6 kids. I'm sure, I can't recall. You have 5, so you have 6 kids, and you're still young. I'm concerned that these numbers are going to get away from you, and you're going to find yourself in a significant amount of debt and then you're going to find yourself in child support hearings, here and there, contempt hearings, but potentially going to jail about these numbers because they're going to get too high with this number of kids. So go ahead, talk with somebody, figure out what you need to do so you can get these numbers where you can take care of your children. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, you take care. I'll do an order to that effect. I'll see you guys back here on the 9th, because if it's the likelihood it is my case, because I had you.
Isn't here. The 9th is with abandonment.
Oh, it's an abandonment case.
Oh, I didn't know what it was about.
Okay. Well, you can handle that, but Ms. Red, technically, I've already handled that.
Yes, ma'am.
There's another judge that's looking at it, but I don't see this as being an abandonment case. Because we're dealing with it now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you talk with the prosecutors on that case, but you do need to let them know that we had this hearing and that he actually was present, and that the court made the contempt findings and came up with purges. So I don't, that's my take on it. Okay. Y'all take care.
Thank you.
Yes,
all right. Ms. Marshall, I'm off because I thought child support started at 10 and that Mr. Johnson was just logging in early. So I'm completely thrown off with my 10 o'clock.
All right. You guys have a 2-year-old child. Mom lived in DeKalb County with that child. You both live in DeKalb County. Dad, you're under an order to pay $477 per month. They're not sure of what's past due. It looks like that's being adjudicated. It looks like you have paid. It looks like you're paying every 2 weeks. You're right on track for child support. I don't know what happened or why we are here. Maybe you missed a payment. I don't know. It says mom says she received no money at all ever from you. That's what I'm showing. I'll let mom testify about that. I don't know if you just started paying, if this is a new order. I'm not sure. So give me one moment. Miss Rhett, I'm not sure. You put here that you've never received any money and you have an order for 477. When you say you've never received when was your child support order established?
The order was established. We went to court for legitimization back in June. And so it was established to be in as of July 1st. And
Okay.
in the order, I was to give him the account and routing number for him to put the money in. And from that point on, I did as the order said, which was to give him the account and routing number. I gave it to him as a print up from the bank. And then a month or two later, he asked me again for the number. And I asked him what happened to it. And he told me that he misplaced it. So I sent it to him, the account and routing number, via text. And I waited. I didn't, bother with him or anything because I really didn't want to take it through the child support system because I know if you get behind, it would suspend his license or lock him up. So by November, this is from July to November, he had not done anything.
Okay. All right.
And so that's why is that now, as of recent, when we went to court on Tuesday for the contempt for legitimization, he had already started making payments.
Okay, for the legitimation. I know a lot of people call it legitimization, but it's just legitimation.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so you guys have a legitimation order for Jordan. Yes. Okay. All right. So I'm going to.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So yes, Mr. Fox, you're here because exactly what she said. We're not showing any payments until recently. I'm not sure because you're probably going to have July, August, September, October, November, December, January. You're going to have 7 months past due. And then what they're going to do is add an additional amount to to pay off those 7 months, unless you have the ability to pay it off or your taxes may be intercepted. So mom had no choice to file because there were no payments due, but it looks like you're exactly on track. The only issue is I like to make for my notes, what are you self-employed? Because it looks like you're making the payments voluntarily when we usually try to get them directly out of your paycheck. And mom's right. It's past due 60 days, they automatically suspend your driver's license. So she was trying to work with you out. You didn't bite the bullet at the time. So she did what she had to do. And it's not out of malice or anything, but just you didn't step up and pay. So with this, are you currently employed, Mr. Fox?
Yes, ma'am, through 1099. So I'll be making my payments directly through the app, through the DCSS app.
Okay, and I can see that you're currently paying every 2 weeks.
Yes, ma'am. I'll try to do it weekly though.
If you do it weekly, you just divide it by 4. The issue is that because it's already 6 months past due, I don't know what they're going to do about your driver's license if it's already suspended. Miss Arena Camarillo, what's the status of his driver's license? Oh, she didn't have a child support case yet.
Yeah, yes, Your Honor. He's been paying. I don't think he has any driver's license issues with us. Have you gotten any mail about your license, Mr. Fox?
No, ma'am, not that I believe. I was hoping that was not the case at all. But no, ma'am, I have not.
He's paid.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to double check right now, of course.
Okay. So, but she just opened a DHSS case. Probably.
Yeah, we don't have it.
Okay. Okay. So, but when they post
the person that was on the things, the person from Defects that was on the thing with us on Tuesday when we went for the contempt said that there was a date coming. So we haven't gotten anything from your office yet, Miss Erica.
Okay, so what's going to happen, which I'm concerned about, Mr. Fox, is they're going to post that past due amount of, excuse me, it's about $2,862 is what I'm looking at. I'm not, just generally. Then once that post, it may impact your driver's license. So make sure you communicate with the child support agency to try to make sure that you try to cure that past due amount so you don't get especially if you're self-employed. I don't know if you're driving construction, but boom, like that, your car will be scanned, license suspended because they send it to your last known address that's on your driver's license. If they don't have an address, and it just goes downhill from that. Okay, your car is impounded, you're taken into custody. It's not worth all that if you can try to make sure you stay on top of that. Okay, so I'll put here dad is self-employed, payments are being made bi-monthly. Since you just started paying again, Mr. Fox, I have to reset the case at least one time to make sure that you're consistent, and then I'll dismiss the case. It looks like you're going to step it up, which I appreciate.
Yes, ma'am.
And you guys have a legitimation order for your child, so that's good. So let's check in on let's check in on April 26th. Make sure your payments are consistent, and if they're consistent, then it will be dismissed. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Is there any way of me getting that contact information for DCSS so that way I can make sure that my license doesn't get suspended due to the past rears that obviously that I have, and I was only able to pay due to I didn't really have a good job at all, and now that I have a little piece of better job, I'm able to pay now. So, yeah, I definitely need my license in order to keep making payments.
And what would have been better is for you to communicate with mom and just tell her that, so then you wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? You guys, wait. Let me mute you, Miss Red. I mean, it would have. Let me mute you. It would have. You know, this is where communication is. You guys have your both parents. You may be in other relationships, but you still need to talk, text. You don't have to talk, just text. You know, because now you're going to have rights to visitation. You guys have to work out who's picking the child up when, and this is for the rest of your life, at least 16 years while your child. I don't know if Jordan's a girl or a boy, but while Jordan's in school. So communication's a key. And I'll see you guys on April 26th. And Miss Arena Camarillo, I'll put you guys in a breakout room.
Your Honor, I've already chatted to him, the website, and that has all the different various ways he can communicate with us. There are a lot of different ways, so he can choose what's best.
Okay, sounds good. But you figured out how to pay online, so we appreciate that. Okay. All right. So we'll see you guys April, what did I say? 26th. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
April 26th. Yes. And if everything's consistent and your payments are fine, then the case will be dismissed. Okay.
But we get another email for that one.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Y'all have a good day.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.